Hey guys, I'm Derek Panza here with Muscle and Fitness. This week's 10-minute technique, we're working on a left hook. The reason why we're doing the left hook this week is because last week when I was working with Marco Rivera, we worked on a basic block and counter drill using the left hook. These videos are not going in any particular order right now. It's kind of all divine inspiration. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit and go over how to throw a proper left hook, because when we were doing the block and counter drill, there were some live questions about proper technique. The left hook is my personal favorite punch. It's because I fight out of a conventional fighting stance, meaning my left side is forward. But I'm naturally left-handed, so my left hook is naturally powerful anyway. It's kind of cheating a little bit with the left hook. Most people fight with their power side back. I fight power side forward. That's a whole nother lesson to talk about, is a strategic difference. But today, under 10 minutes, let's just go over basic left hook mechanics. Left hook is kind of a controversial thing with most boxing trainers. The first thing we're going to focus on is hand position. Many boxing trainers insist a left hook be thrown with your fist palm down. Others insist palm facing you. People argue this till they're blue in the face. Well, I like both hand positions depending on the distancing of the left hook. If I'm in close or at middle distance, mid-range, my left hook position is palm facing in. That's because when my palm faces in, my form flexes naturally. When my palm is facing down, you can see my form isn't flexed. It feels more stable. I feel like my arm is more solid with my palm facing me. However, when I throw a longer left hook, almost a looping left hook, my palm facing down just feels more comfortable. So with hand position, you're going to do what works for you. I would suggest in the beginning, palm facing you. It's a little more stable. We're going to use a wall bag today. Now, most people have seen these wall bags on a lot of kickboxing, Muay Thai videos, being elbowed and kneed and crazy techniques. We're using it simply because it's a stationary target. And to learn the left hook, I want a stationary target. We're not working on the timing and distancing right now. The timing and distancing, that's the complex part. The simple part is just training you or training yourself as if you're an animal. I mean, well, we are animals, but literally the way you train a dog is the way you train a human. Repetition, repetition, repetition. And that's what we're gonna do right now. On this particular wall bag, I set it up in my gym so it faces the mirror. That's done on purpose, because if you're in a conventional fighting stance, what I do is I have my own students throw their straight right to the mirror. They're watching themselves punch as they do this particular drill. They're going to throw their straight right hand, pre-coiling their body so they can come back with their left hook. Now, on this bag, this is a very hard bag. I have it braced against a concrete wall. I'm only using my hand wraps for this drill right now to demonstrate proper hand position, but I'm not going to punch full blast. I'm going to punch about 10% power right now. What I like about learning punches initially with no gloves on is it forces you to punch perfect. With no glove to protect my hand, I have to make sure that my two larger knuckles dig in for the impact. I can't mess up and hit with my pinky knuckle because it's more sensitive. It's a weaker knuckle. Generally speaking, all punches should be thrown and executed so the two larger knuckles make contact first. If your whole hand sinks into a person, like on a body shot after the fact, that's fine. But the larger knuckles take the majority of the impact. Using a wall bag, or even a very heavy bag that doesn't move that much, you're gonna practice by throwing punch number 2, your straight right to the air, and as you coil your right shoulder back, the left side of your body is going to turn. I'm going to strike the bag with my two large knuckles. My palm is facing me. But the importance of this drill and this technique is to watch yourself in the mirror and build the foundation from the ground up. Punching power happens from the ground up. I don't get my punching power from my arm. My arm is just a weapon. No different than a knife or a sword. This is a weapon. My body is what makes that weapon work. It's what puts it in motion. So let's start at my feet. When I throw a left hook, my left foot begins to pivot. That allows my left hip to pivot. I drive with my entire torso and my shoulder. The mechanics are simply this. I have about 60% of my weight on my rear leg. My rear leg is flat, that's my base. My lead leg is the pivot point. As I turn my body, at the last moment, my arm will follow through slightly. And it's just a slight follow through. I'm not swinging out wide. Now I can swing out wide, those are different punches. Wide circular punches are also effective strategically at various times for various reasons. Right now we're working on a perfect basic left hook. This is the most efficient way to throw it and the most powerful way to throw it. I'm not telegraphing, I'm not wide, I'm not sloppy either. I'm gonna recoil my punch number 2. My right foot is flat on the floor, signaling my left foot to begin to turn. My palm faces in, and I'm striking the bag. Notice my left shoulder is up by my jaw. While I'm speaking, sometimes I'll do it incorrect just to talk to you over my shoulder, but a correct left hook, I'm down here behind my shoulder. The offense and defense, when you punch, are intertwined. Part of the defense is not to punch with my chin in the air. I'm behind my shoulder. The way I have my own students drill this is I'll time an entire round, 3 minutes. They will methodically practice going from punch to punch, pivoting into each punch all the way. You're gonna turn your feet as much as they will physically go without being able to break your own ankle. You're not gonna break your own ankle, but you're turning as much as you physically can. Now, when you watch boxing or MMA, you may say, I don't always see people pivoting all the way into their power punches. That's because in an actual fight, there's a lot of variables. You could be off balance. Maybe you're getting hit at the same time. You're attempting to pivot all the way, and that usually translates to pivoting part of the way in a fight. My theory on the bag and the pads is always you practice perfect technique. When you get perfect technique down on a bag, it usually translates to good technique in sparring, which hopefully translates to good technique under pressure of a fight or real combat. So again, if you see a person fighting, a great fighter, and you think, well, they don't pivot all the way, we practice pivoting all the way, so hopefully some of it comes out in the actual fight. Pivoting my left foot is more a means to an end. The end being, it's more about my hips driving through. If my foot is stuck on the floor, it's hard to turn my hip all the way into a left hook. I can, but it's not quite as powerful. So again, pivot into your right, recoil into the left, right, right, left. You're gonna continually practice this movement for an entire round of boxing work, or even 2 rounds. I'm not punching hard, but I'm in constant motion, which teaches me that most power is generated from one punch to the next. Push, pull, push, pull. And then as I become more advanced, that's when I double up or triple up off the same side to break the rhythm or be deceptive or not set a pattern. But in basics, we're usually punching left, right, or right, left. It's better for generating power and basic mechanics. If you want to punch a little harder, I suggest putting gloves on. I have my gloves right here. So I'm going to glove up now. I'm going to do this drill for a few seconds. I'm going to punch a little more powerful, but I won't even punch 100%. It's really not necessary when I'm just learning a punch to punch as hard as I can. We're just building the fundamentals. So I'm facing a mirror, the bag is next to me, I'm going my straight right, I pivot all the way, and I come back with my left hook. And these are the basic mechanics to generate proper power through proper technique in a left hook. If you do the drill and you feel like you're exaggerating, that's okay. You're probably not exaggerating. You're just not used to rotating and pivoting all the way. And again, remember, when you watch other fighters fight or compete, they're usually trying to drive all the way into their punches, but they can't always do it in a live situation because there's balance issues. They're getting hit simultaneously on the bag and the pads. This is the ideal environment to have perfect technique. So always strive for perfect technique. As I say, week after week, it only takes about 10 minutes to kind of learn the technique, but it takes about 100 hours of drilling to perfect it. Now, to do it in a live combat situation, probably another 100 hours of sparring and timing and distancing drills. So what I review in 10 minutes, you have to practice non-stop, ceaselessly, day after day after day. And you'll never be too good to practice your basics. All fighting at a beginner level or advanced level comes down to proper basics. Whoever executes them the fastest with the best timing and distancing at the right time, that's the person that wins. I'm Derek Panza for Muscle and Fitness here at Bev Francis Powerhouse Gym and Panza Mixed Martial Arts. Thank you, Frank Giuseppe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.